Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, torture time is here. That's right, we're talking about the music video for Torture by the Jacksons on Kill the Video Star. Well, greetings and salutations, Internet. Girl Paula Abdul, coming to you once again from a nightmare void where I can't tell, where fantasies are real and real things are fantasy. This is Kill the Video Star, a little thing that we decided to do when our bodies failed us and Gina almost died. Speaking of which, there's only one person I trust that if I need a bevy of dancing storms or sexy spiders, she'll know where to find some. The one, the only Gina Radcliffe. How are you doing today, Gina?
I'm all right. I'm really pleased to be hanging out on this torture planet with you.
Really? I mean, is this Earth? Is this a dreamscape? I don't understand where this takes place. A fusion jazz album cover, I think, maybe?
Or prog rock,
Yeah.
It is all these things and none of these things.
Yeah, it's someone who's spied a couple dungeon master, it's a load of DM guide pictures set against a funky little tune.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that somebody's watching me, just random monster faces just coming out of the darkness for no reason whatsoever.
Yes.
Also, intercut with pictures of scantily clad ladies.
Oh, there's a lot of scantily clad ladies. There's a lot of
and also big giant eyeballs.
Well, I mean, who doesn't love big giant eyeballs? Whether they're in the sky or you're forced up against a couple of them. But let's get right into the plot of the Jacksons' Torture, which was their second single off their comeback album. After Michael had done so well with Thriller, they said, Michael, the rest of the family needs to make some money. Please, for the love of God.
Please, deign to bless us with your presence for a day or two at the recording studio.
Yeah, we have mortgages too, Michael. Help us out here. We stood behind you for all those years. The least you could do is come back to the family and make some songs with us. And it was all going great until Michael's hair caught on fire during a Pepsi commercial. And so the vast majority of this tour and the music videos created for the album do not feature so much Michael Jackson vocals, but those were recorded in advance, obviously.
Do we want to give away the spoiler at the end of the video?
No, I think people have to wait. I think we need to get through the bulk of it, and then we will reveal the wonderful information we have about this.
Does this fit into the category that I mentioned of horror themed videos like that?
Absolutely.
That odd little spate of horror themed videos in the mid 80s.
100%. This is totally, absolutely. They were so scared to death of the sort of S&M implications of a song called Torture that they leaned into this other capacity that had worked out so well for Michael in Thriller. And they thought to themselves, how can we have a music video as cool as Thriller, but made for $25? And
except that I think that this did cost a lot of money, but it doesn't look it.
It's not on the screen. At one point, a person ascends stairs and they rock back and forth under the weight of this 148-pound man. It's like,
I have it playing like with the sound off while we're recording this, and I think I just went past that scene.
It's absolutely true that their black paint and fog juice, were through the roof.
And those little studs you can put on pants, the little pyramid studs.
Everything is studded within an inch of its life. A couple people have on vests with plexiglass spikes on them. And then you have Tito, who is resplendent in a shimmery flash sweatshirt.
Yeah, Tito's the portly Jackson. Yeah, so he does not get to wear the vest with no shirt underneath.
He's not. I mean, in his youth, like he would be playing an instrument and dancing as hard as everyone else. Now he's been given the assignment of playing all of the instruments while everyone kind of poses in various directions because they are not as nimble as they used to be, everyone.
And he is just covered in fabric from his neck down to his ankles.
He's also wearing a leather daddy hat, which
I love him. He is my favorite Jackson in this. He just looks like somebody's dad at like the community talent show.
He is every dad in every TikTok dance challenge video who's been conned into appearing on camera by their child. And like, well, I love Jamie very much, so I'm just going to stand in the background here and just try to bus it. I'm
going to mimic playing guitar.
Yeah. This, it should be noted, this music video is 6 minutes and 41 seconds long.
Oh, yeah. It's like a mini motion picture.
It is the war and peace of horror-themed music videos set almost entirely in the dark.
Well, it's 2 minutes of guitar solo at the end.
And where they're just like revisiting B-roll footage that they caught of other scenarios. And like, oh, we really blew our wad with the sexy spider stuff. It's like, no. We can use it during the guitar solo. This entire thing is shot along a black cyc with a single spotlight shooting up into the ceiling. Everyone is wearing huge dark sunglasses is another thing. So if I get someone's name wrong outside of Tito, it's not like I didn't do research, but everything is poorly lit. Everyone is wearing giant sunglasses. I can't tell the difference between the person who's wearing a studded bellhops uniform and the person who's wearing a sequined crop top. I can't tell who anyone is. I can't see anyone, and they're all wearing like sunglasses, like they're mailing bombs in the mail, and they have a long screed that they're mailing to the FBI.
Yeah, they're all wearing sunglasses. They all have similar hairstyles. Yes. All we know for certain is that they are neither Michael or Jermaine.
Yeah.
Because Michael was just evidently not fully recovered from his accident well enough to be in this, and Jermaine just didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Jermaine didn't know whether or not he was going to be involved. He was in some sort of Jackson timeout. I couldn't get into all of it. I couldn't parse it out.
Read the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, it'll give
there's a whole bunch of drama there about like the choreographer, how Billy Idol's girlfriend was replaced by one of the Jackson's girlfriends who was Paula Abdul.
Yeah, and apparently this launched Paula Abdul's video choreography career. So like something good came out of it beyond Tito's sequined Flash jumpsuit, which I really like.
He's the best.
Literally, it has the symbol of the Flash on it, and it has nothing to do with anything else that happens in this music video. There is a keytar, though, so we got that going for us.
Yes, there is.
One of the Jacksons, I believe it is Marlon, but I apologize in advance because everyone has hidden their identity in this music video. He looks like he's wearing a women's championship wrestling belt. It feels like there should be like a cartridge of bat shark poison, on the side of it. It's very hefty. There are also cenobites. I think there are cenobites in this music video. Gina?
Yeah. There's certainly a resemblance.
There's a guy who's kind of got a cracked egg head with an upside down mouth and horns for eyes.
Yeah, there's I'm just looking at now. There's someone with their entire face is covered in those little pyramid spikes.
Yeah. Yes. There's a couple no faces who show up later who look like Michael Jackson with no face on them. There's 3 of them. The whole thing feels like someone's yelling off screen. Just dance. No, just dance that way. At one point, someone shows up at the sort of entrance to the Temple of Career Doom, and they have these 2 burning cauldrons, and one of them goes off very early, and then the other one goes off after. And you're like, you want to give that a take 2? And they're like, nope, don't have the money. Moving on.
Yeah, this very much feels like we're getting this all in one shot.
There's some interesting makeup effects here. Like they're obviously someone was trying, but it also does look like they swiped a lot of designs from Mad Balls. Do you remember Mad Balls?
I do remember Mad Balls.
There's one that shows up with, he's kind of a Joker. He lives in a society. I don't know if you're aware of this, but all Jokers live in a society. That's what sets them apart. And he's all teeth. He's got a big old smile, and I'm really not sure what it's about. But
there's also some Ray Harryhausen skeletons.
Oh, that's the thing that puts it over. Like, if there's a reason to do that, like, I'm never going to complain about dancing skeletons.
Well, no, of course not.
But they also, those skeletons take certain things. It almost sounds like they hired a guy who can do stop motion animation. It's like, we want these skeletons to break dance. And he's like, what? Who shot where? And the what now? What's a break dance? And then someone described to him over a bad connection on a landline what breakdancing is. And he's like, okay, maybe I could do that. Jerry, at the end of it, just have the skeleton break. They're breakdancing. Yeah, you got it, right? They break. That's what breakdancing is. And then there's a moonwalk that I don't think that person has ever seen a moonwalk before. That's not how people or skeletons moonwalk.
My favorite part of that is how, and again, I don't know which Jackson brother is which either, but he's watching them and like his mouth is slowly dropping open.
And then the action is superimposed on his very large Italian women sunglasses for men's sunglasses. Oh, wow. I mean, you can't accuse this music video of not trying. Let's put that out there.
No.
Trying.
Boy, oh boy. This 6.5 minutes is packed to the gills with images.
Just when you think
none of them make any sense.
Just when you think, wow, there's a lot of dancing Storms in this, where it's women dressed up as the X-Men character Storm with a white mohawk. And they're all dancing. You're like, that's a lot of that. You're like, whoa, we're cutting away from that. Now there's a faulty plexiglass runway. No, wait. Now there's a hallway full of eyeballs. Just 15 feet worth of eyeballs.
And we got a giant spider web.
And a giant spider web. And one with A. Jackson, let's call him Jackie, puts his hand back to brace himself against the wall of eyeballs. And he puts his hand all the way through an eyeball. And he's like, ooh, big ouchie on my hand.
Ew, eyeball juice.
He's got like a middling Stephen King short story happening on his hand. I don't remember which that short story is, but an astronaut went to Jupiter and he comes back and he's got eyeballs on his hands, and then he cuts them off and he puts them in a fire. He's like, I'm doing well with the hooks. I'm like, okay, moving on to the next one.
And then somebody goes into the Tronverse.
This is 2 weeks, well, like 3 weeks in a row where we've had a Tron jail sequence. People were very just thrilled to put
mid 80s was a big time period for like people for like animated jail bar sequences. I don't know why, but that was definitely a thing for a little while.
Jails
like
in the future.
Where somebody just puts their hands up and what, and then bars appear in front of their hands. I think it was Fallout from remember when Mime was a thing in the late 70s?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When it would be seen on variety shows.
Yeah, I think there was even like a Mime like show for a little while, and I think this is like Fallout from that, because it definitely involves some miming. Like, I'm stuck. Oh my goodness.
The Mime Industrial Complex had driven us to the place where there was too many mimes and not enough work.
You can't see me right now, but I'm actually making I'm in a cell. I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I'm making that gesture.
There's a giant windstorm that is forcing me backwards, even though you cannot feel the wind. I have toilet paper eyes. All right, we get it, Jerry. At one point, the Storm Squad gets swapped out with what I could only describe as the Jack Frost dancers. They're just covered in white cones. We also have, I think this is in the Tron jail. We have the Phantom of the Dumpra is just lurking behind an organ. He's going to wah, boogity boo. I don't know what the point of any of the monsters are. They don't add anything to it.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. I don't know, what they are trying to escape from.
At one point, a Jackson enters a sort of Temple of Doom hallway where big knives that wiggle a lot come at him.
And he's trying to run to this beautiful lady who seems to be orchestrating the whole thing.
I think she's the main torture giver in this circumstance. She's the one who wields the whip that sparks all the time, which is always interesting for a family that had just lost their main moneymaker to errant sparks. So they learned a great lesson. Way to go. And she also wears a baggy gimp mask.
Yes.
Not sexy. It's decidedly unsexy.
No.
And at this point, you're thinking, that's a lot of stuff. Gina, Patrick, slow down. Hold on. There's a 2-minute guitar solo. Where at one point, Tito tries to combine sexy guitar playing with rubbing his butt up against a very poorly fastened wall.
He also just shows his guitar through a pane of glass for some reason.
Yeah. They all kind of attempt to break glass, but it all looks like they're afraid to hurt their hands because, again, they've just witnessed one member of their family music band almost die doing a funny fucking stunt for Pepsi. So they're kind of like, ow. They don't really give it a full weight. Like, at least Tito has a guitar neck to sacrifice to the breaking of glass. Everyone else is like,
let me just hit this with the heel of my hand.
Yeah. It doesn't look like violence as it looks like self-preservation against something you do not trust. So if we were to guess which Jackson brother had the I want to get gang fucked to death by sexy spiders idea. That is essentially what is portrayed here, Gina. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely being assaulted in some way
by multiple sexy spiders who are wearing black spandex outfits with what looks like an exploded feather boa on their chest, and that does not read as a sexy spider. It just does not. But they overtake him and they leave a pile of bones, and that is our transition to the dancing skeletons. I'll give them that.
Yeah, they denied that the lyrics of the song had anything to do with bondage or
it's more
whatever.
about emotional torture.
Yeah,
the torture being broken up with and seeing that person with another man. That's what it's about.
But yeah, this video is kind of really it's fetishy but not sexy. And no. I think that was another issue with 80s videos, because you have a video like compare this to the video for Closer,
right?
That was definitely fetishy, but kind of weird, a little sexy too, in a way that like a person wouldn't really understand. But
it's sexy in its weirdness because you can't quite place what's happening, but you know that everyone involved is very into it.
Right.
It feels foreign in the sense that you don't understand it, and wrong, but also everyone who's watching this is kind of into it. So like it's alluring in that way, in that sort of gothy way. And here it's kind of like, I don't know, we hired a bunch of Laker girls and they're going to dance around with white cones on their body.
Right. It's like, they don't want to be too overtly sexual because, the whole, Tipper Gore wasn't quite doing her thing yet, but there was still a lot of controversy over, images and videos that were too sexy or music that was too sexy. So it's like, well, we're going to, have like whips and chains and scantily clad women, but we're gonna make it aggressively unsexy.
Yes, and everything is lit so poorly, you can't tell where a person starts or ends. It's very hard to see anything, and so I think they were hoping for more allure. What you can't see is more powerful than what you can see, but what I can see looks very cheap and weird.
Yes,
and all despite the fact that it was both cheap and weird, this shoot bankrupted the video production company that made it.
Oh yeah,
It was too much for what they had to handle. There are no animals involved. There are no children. It's just a lot of black backdrops and smoke.
I mean, I assume maybe the costume budget, but I don't know. I do not know where
they change costumes. All the Jacksons remain in a single costume throughout. So I can't imagine the dancers' costumes cost all that much because, as I mentioned, spiders are represented by limbs that do not move, a black spandex bodysuit, and a loose red feather boa.
All items you could get in your local Party City.
Exactly. No, this is a very Party City level music video. Absolutely.
I think we're ready to mention the best part of this video.
Just buckle up, because when I read this, I was like, "Oh, we're both gonna come armed with this particular bullet." But you got it in the chamber, Gina. Fire it.
Okay, so we mentioned that Michael Jackson was not in the video. I don't think he was in any of the videos that they did for this particular album because, again, he was recovering from his injuries after being burned. So they used a wax figure from Madame Tussauds. At the end, he's got his arm raised, and I love it. It's so wonderful. I just love that they did this because rather than, he's not, it's not like they dragged the wax figure around throughout the video and or animated to make it dance. It just shows up at the end. Yeah,
they pose around it. This is what it comes down to.
And all the computer animated glitter in the world can't hide the fact that is not a real person.
Yeah, and apparently it melted so quickly that it was described as his head was a bowl of soup by the end of it. Direct quote. You know
that I love a good use of a mannequin. And I mentioned this a couple times. Mm-hmm. This is a good fucking use of a mannequin.
It might be the best one we've encountered. So
yeah, I mean the only thing would have been better if someone threw it off the top of a building at the end.
If this video had been 7 minutes and 23 seconds, they probably would have gotten to that stage. Torture was the second single off the Jacksons' comeback album. Their leadoff single was State of Shock with Mick Jagger. The third single is Victory, I believe, which has the Can You Feel It? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Which is a much better music video, which I believe opened their live shows. They showed that one. So that's a lot of slow. It's like the white gauzy version of Torture. It's a lot of sparkly rainbows coming out of fingertips. Not that that's a bad thing. Anything that we missed in the Jacksons' Torture music video, Gina?
I mean, there's so much. We had to have missed something, but this might be an even busier video than Somebody's Watching Me. Like there's always something happening.
Yeah, Somebody's Watching Me is the residential version of this, where Torture is like, no. We're gonna hire out a studio space. We're gonna get a couple cameras. We're really gonna make a big production out of it, and then you're really watching a lot of talented background dancers spin in goofy costumes, and Jackson's going, "Huh? What? What do you mean? There's a hallway full of eyeballs? I'm not sticking my hand in there. Wait a second. My hand becomes an eyeball? I don't get it. I don't get any of this."
All the money went into that eyeball effect.
What does the eyeball mean? Especially for a music video where no one shows their actual eyeballs.
Yeah, no, they were very very dedicated to, we're all just wearing our sunglasses. Well, it's kind of film in the dark. No, fuck it, we're keeping on these sunglasses.
It's like their sunglasses at night.
Did they all have pink eye? I mean, what is this?
It's like that scene in This Is Spinal Tap where you discover that all the members of the band have contracted herpes at the same time.
Yes.
Oh God, This Is Spinal Tap's the best. It's so fucking good.
Yes, it is.
Why aren't we watching that right now?
I know we should. We should have like a bonus episode of that because it's both of our favorite movie.
Oh, fucking This Is Spinal Tap is so good. People just don't understand because, of course, it was. It is in the rare circumstance of being made after 1975, so it's a film you can watch. That's it. God damn. The internet was a mistake, with the exception of this show. So, Gina, where can people find you on these here internets?
I am a writer over at thespool.net, in which I cover movies and television. In a couple of weeks from when this airs, I will be covering South by Southwest from the comfort of my couch, because film festivals are not yet back in person, which is good for me because I don't have to pay for travel expenses.
It's true, and that's hopefully it'll all be over. But as we're recording this, Texas is going through a real tough time. Austin in particular. So our while this will come out weeks after, hopefully everyone has recovered. But our thoughts are with all of our friends and listeners, and even those people we don't know who are in the great state of Texas.
Yes, exactly. Stay warm and as best you can in spite of what your terrible governorship is doing right now.
Yes,
which is nothing.
And it sucks because California is in the exact same position. We had previous GOP governors who privatized our electoral system, and that's why we have the fires we do, because it is too expensive to them. It is not profitable for them to fix it. Hence why maybe, just maybe, the electrical grid should not be a for-profit business. Crazy, it's true. But that just about does it for that kind of torture. Next week we'll be back with something fun. Until then, the body count will continue for myself and Gina. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.